So good morning again, everyone that's sitting here in our lovely live gathering, and greetings to everyone that is watching this as a recording in some other place and some other time. This is the School of Christian Mysticism, and we're exploring Teresa of Avila's interior castle. And we're taking our time, working our way through the castle in our exploration, and we've come to the fourth dwelling of 7, the fourth dwelling of the castle, and this is the second meditation. Malcolm led us in the first one. So today I hope just simply to lead us, guide us into an experience of this state of consciousness. And I'd like to invite us, as we begin to enter into the meditation, to include all these concepts, perhaps, ways of thinking about these different aspects of self. We might talk about the 7 dwellings of the castle. We might talk about the planes of consciousness. We might talk about other dimensions, other planets. But let us include all of that in our exploration of the wonder and beauty of what it is to be a full human being. So as we settle into our meditation this morning, let us do as St. Teresa herself does at the beginning of her exploration of this dwelling. She says, as we begin to explore the 4th dwelling, I pause to surrender myself again to the Holy Spirit. I pray that from this point onward, He, she, take over and speak for me. So we're going to use the words of Saint Simeon the theologian in his invocation to the Holy Spirit, or some of it. So come, true light, come, life eternal, come, hidden mystery, come, treasure without name, come, reality beyond all words, come, person beyond all understanding, come, rejoicing without end, come, light that knows no evening, come, unfailing expectation of the saved, come, the raising of the fallen, come, the resurrection of the dead, come, all-powerful, invisible, eternal joy, unfading garland, purple vesture of our great God and King, belt of crystal set with precious stones, sandal that none dares to touch, royal robe and right hand of true sovereignty, Come alone to the alone, for as you see, I am alone. Come, for you yourself are the desire that is within me, and you have caused me to long after you, the holy, inaccessible. Come, my breath and my life, the consolation of my humble soul, my joy, my glory, my endless delight. So let us just be aware of the presence of the Holy Spirit. And as we're present to the Holy Spirit, the spiritus, the ruach, the breath, we're aware of our own breath. And the freedom of the breath. This morning in our morning prayer, Tim led us in some words about slavery and emancipation from slavery, and Jane led us in a beautiful prayer for the emancipation of us from our own slavery. And as we emerge into the fourth dwelling for the first time in our journey into this interior castle that is ourself, we experience a level of freedom, emancipated from the slavery of our minds. We cannot completely be free of the action of our minds and our thoughts, Saint Teresa tells us, because our thoughts are like stars hurtling around the sky of our minds. But we can allow ourselves to be drawn into a different place. For, she says, when His Majesty is ready for the soul to grow still, He engages it in another way and illumines the consciousness so completely that it remains absorbed. You cannot stop the stars hurtling across the heavens of our minds, and neither can we stop the mind. Off it goes, and we send all our faculties after it. But when His Majesty is ready for the soul to grow still, He engages it in another way and illumines the consciousness so completely that it remains absorbed. So we might, right now, as we continue going deeper in meditation, just be aware of the action of our minds, our many thoughts about the words which I am using and the thoughts which we may just be hurtling around the heavens of our minds about all sorts of other things. But let us open to the divine. And just calling us into remembrance, like, she says, a shepherd calling his sheep. So let's hear the divine calling us by name. Let us hear our own name being called. Teresa says that the divine calls softly at first, but then more powerfully, calling us home, calling us back from our wandering. The call grows so powerful, she says, that the ties that bound our faculties to external things and estrange them from Him begin to unravel. So as we breathe out, let us allow the unraveling of our everyday self, and as we breathe in, we respond to the call of the divine. Teresa says that if you want to make progress on the path and ascend to the places that you have longed for, the important thing is not to think too much, but to love much, and so to do whatever best awakens you to love. If you want to make progress on the path and ascend to the places you have longed for, the important thing is not to think too much, but to love much, and so to do whatever best awakens you to love. So continuing breathing out, allowing ourselves to unravel. Our thoughts, our everyday self, our preoccupations, our prejudices, our identities, our beliefs, and as we breathe in, we answer the call of the Divine, calling us by name. as we continue to unravel and continue to become more and more present to this interior space, we may find that we can relax more and open more. We no longer feel that there is anything to prove. And the interior space, our sense of it, expands. Mirabai Starr, in her commentary about this dwelling, describes it as the heart cave, the shining vortex out of which emanates 3 primal energy centers below and 3 sublime energy centers above. It is all about love. The heart cave, the shining vortex out of which emanates 3 primal energy centers below and 3 sublime energy centers above. It is all about love. So relaxing in this heart cave. You may be aware, Teresa mentions about fragrance. It's on the inner level. She says we're not actually smelling it with the external senses, but with the inner senses there may be a fragrance and a light. And a sense of preciousness, of gold. Teresa says it's like coming into the presence of a king or an emperor, and all we have to do is to kneel, to bow, to be humble, to ask for what we want, and then wait. there are fruits which come from this state of being where we are concentrated on the divine, just in this state of humble attention and waiting, opening, expansion of the heart. Teresa says that we desire more than ever not to offend God, but we are far from grovelling. We're fully confident that we will find our delight in Him. We know that in God we can do everything. Our desire for self-sacrifice, for sacrifice of the small self, is much greater here. We no longer worry about trials. Our faith is revitalized. We have the ability to withdraw from worldly pleasures more, and in so doing gain mastery over ourselves. So long, she says, as we remain open. For as yet our soul is like a baby, dependent on the mother for life, so long as we remain open. So let's continue in this state of openness, humility, and attention on the divine. So as we draw to the close of this meditation, let us remember our experience of this fourth dwelling, this precious place within us, which is always there. And if we are listening for the call of the Beloved, we can return.